thyroid gland is located at the base of the neck in front of the trachea. It is stimulated by TSH from the anterior pituitary to produce thyroxine. It also produces calcitonin. Thyroxine targets the body cells to increase the rate of metabolism, which is the rate at which the body converts glucose into energy. It's also called cellular respiration, which is the burning of glucose to produce carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. If there's too much thyroxine, so hypersecretion, is called hyperthyroidism. Symptoms include high metabolic rate, can sit still, always warm, and tend to be thin. One type of hypersecretion is Graves' disease. It affects tissues behind the eye. It's a severe state of hyperthyroidism that results when the body's immune system attacks the thyroid. Antibodies attach to TSH receptors on thyroid cells, causing the thyroid gland to produce too much thyroxine. Hyposecretion, called hypothyroidism, results in low metabolic rate, less energy, being intolerant of cold, having dry skin, and gain weight. One kind of hypothyroidism is goiter. The body uses iodine to make thyroxine. Iodine is found in fish and salt and has been added to salt since 1924 to prevent goiter. Goiter is enlargement of the thyroid gland due to no thyroxine being produced. The hypothalamus produces more TSH-RF. This causes the pituitary to release TSH, which stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroxine, and if it can't, it will grow in size to try and make cells that can produce thyroxine. So the negative feedback system is not working properly. Let's draw the negative feedback loop for TSH. Stimulus is that metabolic rate decreases or more energy is needed. The hypothalamus releases TSH-RF, which goes to the pituitary, which releases TSH, which goes to the thyroid gland to release thyroxine. Thyroxine then increases metabolism and is a negative feedback to decrease its production. The thyroid gland is also involved in regulating calcium levels in the blood. The thyroid and parathyroid gland are separate structures that function closely together. Calcitonin from the thyroid gland targets the bones, kidneys, and small intestine. It decreases blood calcium by depositing calcium in bones, and excess calcium is excreted in urine. In the small intestine, it causes less absorption of calcium from the food. Parathyroid hormone is antagonistic to calcitonin. It has the opposite effect. It is produced in the parathyroid gland, targets the same places, the bones, kidneys, and small intestine, has the opposite function. It increases blood calcium by removing calcium from bones. Lactation, which is breastfeeding, stimulates the release of PTH. So this is showing if someone has normal blood calcium concentration, then no need for release of hormones. If calcium concentration is too high, so a person just ate a meal involving lots of calcium, the thyroid releases calcitonin. Calcium is deposited in bones, it's excreted by the kidneys, and absorption of calcium is reduced in the intestines until calcium concentration decreases in the blood. If calcium concentration is too low, so a person hasn't had calcium in a long time, parathyroid releases PTH, calcium is released from the bones, it's conserved in the kidneys, and absorbed by the intestines until calcium again is at homeostatic levels. We're going to do a couple feedback loops here. Feedback loop for calcitonin is stimulated by high blood calcium. The thyroid produces calcitonin, which goes to the bones, kidneys, and small intestine until calcium levels decrease in the blood. And then the production of calcitonin is decreased. Parathyroid hormone is stimulated by low calcium in the blood. It produces the parathyroid gland, produces PTH, which goes to the bones, kidneys, and small intestine to increase calcium levels in the blood.